Each year, over 100,000 marine mammals dies to ingestion, suffocation, and entanglement from plastic waste in the ocean. This plastic debris comes from a wide variety of sources such as litter, trash, ports, facilities, and most commonly, landfills. In 2019, this should not be an increasing problem, but unfortunately it is. This is a major issue as only 9% of the world's population recycles, and this is the main reason there is a significant amount of plastic throughout the ocean. In recent studies, it has been proven that the plastic patch in the ocean is bigger than some countries, and that is terrifying for these living creatures. This plastic pollution comes from many different sources as it ends up in the ocean and not only harms and kills aquatic life, it also affects global warming, the food web, and creates a decreased value within tourist destinations. As a community, we need to come together and reduce the amount of plastic we use and start recycling. According to www.cleanwater.org, 80% of marine debris comes from land-based sources. The main components of this marine debris consist of litter, trash, construction debris, ports, industrial facility trash, trash blown out of garbage cans or containers, and most commonly landfills. The remaining 20% of marine debris comes from overboard material out of ships as well as fishing gear. The main component of municipal solid waste is food containers and packaging, as well as plastic bags. These items represent the largest of marine debris, which accounts for nearly 80 million tons or 31.7% of all ocean debris. Through studies, it has been shown that there is a significant increase in plastic waste each year, which means there is an increase in plastic throughout the ocean as well. This plastic debris injures and kills fish as well as seabirds and marine animals. Overall, 86% of all sea turtle species, 44% of all seabird species, and 43% of all marine mammal species have been impacted by plastic pollution throughout the ocean. Marine pollution has impacted at least 267 species total worldwide. The form of impacts have been through ingestion, starvation, suffocation, injection, drowning, and being entangled within the plastic. Seabirds that rest and roam on the ocean surface are most prone to eating plastic as they confuse it with food. However, any animal has the possibility of doing the same. The significant amount of plastic pollution is affecting the aquatic life in numerous ways, which is resulting in death for some marine creatures. These numbers and statistics show that if we humans reduce the amount of plastic that we are using, we would create a better living environment for these animals. According to plasticpollution.org, plastic debris kills an estimate of 100,000 marine mammals each year, as well as up to millions of birds and fish. Over time, plastic accumulates at the center of the ocean by swirling through currents, and it forms a large mass of floating debris across the ocean. These patches frequently attract aquatic life as they mistake the plastic as food or other fish. A new study has shown that the Great Pacific Garbage Patch in 2015 shows that there was nearly 16 times more waste than what researchers predicted was floating. The mass of the waste span was over 617,000 square miles, which is about 3 times the size of France. All sea creatures, from very large to the microscopic organisms, are constantly swallowing seawater soup that is contaminated with this plastic and toxic chemicals. Of the 260 million tons of plastic throughout the world each year, 10% ends up in the ocean somehow. A total of 70% of this plastic eventually sinks, which damages the life on the bed of the sea. These materials that compose plastic make it very hard for plastic pollution to dissolve. It has been found that it will take a foam plastic cup while sitting on the coast up to 50 years to dissolve, a plastic beverage holder up to 400 years to dissolve, disposable diapers and plastic bottles up to 450 years to dissolve, and a fishing line itself could take up to 600 years to dissolve. With plastic taking an extensive amount of time to dissolve, it gives marine creatures that long to get tangled in or suffocated by this toxic material. According to See How Many Lego Skyscrapers You Could Build with a Year's Worth of Plastic Waste, an article from the online Nyack Library, plastic consumption continues to increase and the waste collections continue to grow in each ocean. In April of this year, a sperm whale washed ashore in Spain and had 64 pounds of plastic in its body. With the plastic pollution problem that is ongoing, situations like these may not stop occurring unless people do decide to recycle. Only 9% of all plastics are currently recycled. This may be why 8 million tons of plastic are going into the ocean every year. To put these numbers into a different perspective, what if all the plastic that ends up in the ocean over just 1 year was made into Lego bricks? How many true life-size skyscrapers do you think we could build? According to this article, a standard Lego block weighs 2.32 grams, which means the 8 million tons of plastic waste could make 3.4 quadrillion Lego pieces. If we take these numbers a little further, a normal Lego is roughly 33 millimeters by 16 millimeters. A life-size Lego Empire building would have a volume of about 900,000 cubic meters, very close to that of the real building. These numbers and facts show a real-life example of how serious waste pollution in the ocean is. The amount of plastic that could be terminated from entering a river, which later ends up in the ocean, is a substantial quantity. With only 9% of the world's total plastic being recycled, we as humans need to come together as a community and take action to start recycling. What is the real issue? According to www.iucn.org, plastic is a synthetic polymer made from petroleum with properties to suit a wide variety of applications. This toxic material is the reason for over 100,000 aquatic life deaths each year. As marine species ingest or become entangled by this debris, which can also cause injury among the creatures. It comes from various places, including storm runoff, sewer overflows, beach visitors, improper waste disposal, and illegal dumping. This is a major problem as it harms the marine environment, threatens ocean health, food safety quality, coastal tourism, and contributes to climate change. When marine wildlife such as seabirds, whales, fishes, and turtles mistake plastic waste for food, they often die from starvation as their stomachs are filled with plastic debris. This creates further problems where they can no longer swim and they suffer from injections. When these organisms ingest plastic, the chemicals enter their digestive systems and over time affects the food web. This is a major health hazard as it will soon begin to not affect only one species but every species throughout the food chain. Furthermore, as plastic is made out of petroleum, it contributes to global warming. If plastic is destroyed, it releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, thereby affecting global warming. As plastic accumulates over time, sandbars and beaches become less attractive. This begins to damage the value of tourist destinations, which may be later on lead to decreased tourism incomes and economic costs that relate to the cleaning as well as maintenance to these sites. Overall, plastic waste pollution in the ocean affects many different people as well as animals in different ways. This plastic pollution comes from many different sources as it ends up in the ocean, and not only harms and kills aquatic life, it also affects global warming, the food web, and creates a decreased value within tourist destinations. As a community, we need to come together and reduce the amount of plastic we use and start recycling. In 2019, the amount of plastic throughout the ocean is terrifying to not only the aquatic life, but also to us humans. We need to come together as a community and start to reduce the amount of plastic we use and start recycling. Buy reusable items, reuse plastic items, recycle all plastic items. With only 9% of the world's population choosing to recycle, our living environment can turn into a clean, friendly place where animals do not have to suffer from inhalation, suffocation, and entanglement due to plastic waste in the ocean if we come together and start recycling. The obscene number of marine mammal deaths that are taking place due to plastic waste in the ocean is ridiculous, as the patch of waste is nearly 3 times the size of France. But if we come together and start recycling, we could put this issue aside.